Okay, welcome back to you guys. Welcome back from your lunch. Did you guys have a good lunch break? Get some food? I saw you guys taking a nap. Yeah? It's a good place to take a nap here. Yeah. I've had many good sleeps here. So, yeah, use the space however you like. It doesn't belong to anybody, but yet it belongs to everyone. So feel free to use the space however you like. So I'm going to teach you guys Buddhist chanting. But first, before I do, let me just give you guys a little bit of a history and background of where chanting comes from. During the lifetime of the Buddha, he used chanting as a way to help his students remember his teachings, that everything he taught was oral. So they needed some way to be able to remember his teachings. So every 2 weeks, his students would come together and they would recite his teachings orally as a way to commit the teachings to memory. So you're going to see that there isn't anything mystical or magical with chanting. It's not a rite or ritual or ceremony or worship or prayer, anything like that. During the lifetime of the Buddha, it was just purely used as a learning tool, where today we have books, audiobooks, videos, podcasts. We don't need to chant in order to remember the teachings, but I still chant because it helps to ease the mind into meditation and get more benefit out of the meditation itself. Chanting is done all throughout the Buddhist world, and depending on where you are in the world, people will chant different ways. In this tradition of Buddhist teachings, it's called the Theravada tradition. The Theravada tradition means the teachings of the elders. This is the form of Buddhism that's closest to what the Buddha taught during his lifetime, where there's other forms of Buddhism that come later, Mahayana Buddhism, Vajrayana Buddhism. And in those traditions, if you're actually chanting, you're going to be chanting in a local language. So like if you go to China and you practice Mahayana Buddhism, you need to first learn Chinese, then you can chant in Chinese. Or if you go to Vietnam, you would need to first learn Vietnamese, and then you would be able to chant in Vietnamese. In this particular tradition, we chant in what's called the Pali language. This is the historical language of the teachings of the Buddha, and this is a unifying language across all temples, that no matter where you are in the world, we all chant using the same language. So whether you're here in Thailand or Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, southern Vietnam, Sri Lanka, these are like the focal points for Theravada Buddhism, but in reality, it's been spread all throughout the world. So you could go anywhere in the world and you could actually chant. Even though you haven't been at that temple ever, you could actually walk in and chant right along with those people by learning how to chant in the Pali tradition. So I'm going to be teaching you guys the Pali chants. And for this particular part of our class, you might decide to get one of the laminated sheets over there on the cabinet, because it's going to help you to be able to see what I'm actually teaching you guys for the chanting. Okay, so for those of you guys online, if you guys would like to see the chants that we're using, you can get this from our website by going to buddhadailywisdom.com, click on free books, and then scroll down towards the bottom, and you'll be able to see the daily chanting sheet there. So I'm going to share with you guys the benefits of the chants before I actually teach you the chants themselves. So the benefit of chanting is that if you read the words of the Buddha when he's describing meditation and how to actually meditate, before he starts to teach meditation and before he guides people in meditation, he will say, set up mindfulness in front of you. This is something that he teaches. What mindfulness is awareness of mind, that he teaches you to develop some awareness of mind before you ease into meditation, that you don't just plop down into meditation and start meditating, because you'll actually get much more benefit if you bring some awareness to your mind before you actually start meditating. So for me, chanting does that. It helps to bring awareness of the mind. It helps you to gain some concentration and memory, because your mind is kind of like a muscle. If you take your body to the gym and you exercise with weights, that over time your body will become stronger. The muscles in your body will become stronger and you can use them. Your mind is the same way, that if you exercise the mind, it'll become stronger. So these chants are actually helping to exercise the mind to create more focus and concentration and memory in the mind. It also helps you to develop awareness of the breath, because when you're chanting, you're going to need to be aware of the breath, which means when you're in meditation, if you have awareness of mind and awareness of your breath, those are the things that you need in order to be able to meditate. So you'll actually be getting benefit right from the beginning of your meditation, rather than 5, 10, 15 minutes into your meditation. So this little bit of chanting that we do to ease into meditation, it'll actually make it better for you to meditate. You'll get more benefit out of it. You'll notice that the chanting slows, relax, and eases the mind into meditation. Because as I mentioned, if you just plop down into meditation and start meditating, you wouldn't be able to get as much benefit as if you ease the mind into meditation. You might notice that when you're starting on this path, there's some people who notice improvement right away. I've had some students within 2 days, they've actually come in this exact course. Actually, they come in on Wednesday morning and they say, David, I got an email this morning that I normally would have been really upset or frustrated or feeling, one way or another. And they said, I got that email and I was completely fine. I just understood and I didn't have any discontentedness. So you can have improvement in the condition of your mind really early like that, but some people it takes longer. For me, it took a lot longer to be able to see that improvement. So I needed chanting, and it helped me to be able to have this audible indication that my practice was improving, that I could see session by session, week by week, month by month, that my chanting practice was improving. So I knew there were some improvements, but it was to the chanting, right? And that was kind of a motivator for me to help me to continue to be motivated to learn and grow and develop on the path. So this can be helpful for you for that reason too, that it's going to help you to see this audible indication of improvement to your practice. One of the things that you might develop over time and would be wise for you to develop is respect and gratitude for all people in the world. That's part of what an enlightened being is going to have. But surely, as you're growing on this path and you see the improvement to the condition of your mind, you might start developing respect and gratitude towards Gautama Buddha and what I refer to as the elders. What I mean by the elders is that over 2,500 years, there's been people that have been handing these teachings down from person to person to person to person to person. We'll never know the names of those people, but somewhere along the line, there were people that benefited from these teachings, found them to be useful, and they preserved them and they passed them down along the way. Again, we'll never know who those people are, but I have a lot of respect for them, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to experience this enlightened mental state today. So as I'm chanting, there's times where it's helped me to cultivate gratitude and respect for these people, because the only reason why I was able to learn and have these teachings available to us is because of these elders that have passed the teachings down for so many centuries. And then this will also help you to perhaps cultivate respect and gratitude for the Buddha himself, to see that he did this hard work of figuring out how to get to enlightenment and then dedicating the rest of his life to sharing these teachings with you. Because he could have very easily went back to the palace and lived in a life of luxury with this enlightened mental state that he had attained, but he decided instead that he was going to share it with other people, and he did all that hard work from the age of 35 to the age of 80. He ended up dying at the age of 80. So for 45 years, he spends time sharing his teachings and helping countless people get to enlightenment. So you might end up having respect and gratitude for the Buddha himself, and this chanting can help you to do that. It's important to keep in mind that chanting doesn't have any mystical or magical benefits associated with it. There's going to be plenty of people perhaps to tell you that it does. You might actually go to a particular temple and they say, hey, chant this special chant. If you chant this chant, you're going to get rich and wealthy. Or if you chant this special chant, your boyfriend or girlfriend is going to come back to you. And it's like, wow, really? Yeah, we're the only ones that know this chant. It's just special. It's something that we know, right? You'll hear all kinds of things like this. Chant this special chant. You'll get this extra long life. Well, don't believe those people, but don't believe me either, because I'm telling you that there's nothing mystical or magical with these chants. If these chants lead to some mystical, magical benefit where people get an extra long life, you should be able to look around the temple and you'll see people 150, 200, 300 years old, right? If you don't see people that are 150, 200, 300 years old, then you know this is just a belief that these people have, right? Now, also think about it this way. If there was some special chant that you could instantly get wealthy if you chanted that chant, don't you think that would have spread like wildfire by now? The Buddha lived 2,500 years ago. If he created some chant where you could instantly get wealthy, wouldn't all of humanity know it by now? I mean, think about it. You go to a restaurant and you have a really good meal. How many people do you tell? You probably tell all kinds of people, right? 3, 4, 5, 10 different people that you had a good meal. Well, if you chanted something that led to instantly becoming wealthy, you'd probably tell quite a few people about that, right? So there's been plenty of time for these things to spread all throughout the world, if that was actually true, that it gives you an extra long life, or that it's going to magically make you rich or something like this. So these kinds of things don't actually exist. Everything that you're experiencing is based on decisions that you make. There's no amount of chanting that is going to bring your boyfriend or girlfriend back to you. It's just not possible, right? That person's choosing to leave you for a reason, or you're choosing to leave them for a reason. And if you're going to get back together, it's through decisions that you're making, not through chanting, right? So there'll be plenty of people that'll tell you there's some mystical or magical benefit here, but you can just understand that that's not actually true. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do these chants, and then you can see that this is what you're actually accomplishing. You're experiencing the mindfulness or awareness of mind, this concentration and memory, this awareness of breath. It's going to help to slow, relax, and ease the mind into meditation. And it can provide you some audible indication that your practice is improving. And it's also going to help you develop this respect or gratitude for the elders. During the lifetime of the Buddha, it was required for you to chant in order to get to enlightenment. You would have no ability to remember the teachings other than chanting. Where today, that's not the case, that we can use books, audiobooks, videos, podcasts, things like this to help us study so that we can remember the teachings. But during the lifetime of the Buddha, they didn't have that. So that's why chanting was required during his lifetime, where nowadays it's not. So do you guys have any questions on the benefits of chanting? For those of you guys online, you can put your questions into Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, or you can raise your hand in Zoom and ask any questions that you like. Okay, I don't see any questions anywhere. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you guys these 3 individual chants. This first one I'm going to teach you is called the Triple Gem. It's called the Triple Gem or the Triple Jewel because there's 3 phrases here where you're paying respect to the Buddha, to the community, to the teachings, and to the community. I don't suspect that these chants were actually created by the Buddha, because you're going to see a lot of admiration and respect and gratitude for the Buddha. And the Buddha wouldn't walk around and say, here, chant these chants to me out of respect for me. This would be ego. This would be arrogance. So as you guys saw, an individual who's gotten to enlightenment no longer has conceit. So I suspect that these chants were created by his students, either during his life or after his death, because if you learned from a teacher how to move from anger, sadness, and frustration and all those other discontent feelings to the peace and joy that is enlightenment, you'd probably have a lot of respect and gratitude for that person too. So I suspect these actually came from the Buddha. But this very first chant is one that you'll see at the very beginning of most events within the Theravada tradition, because it pays respect to these 3 things: the Buddha, the teachings, and the community. And you would need these 3 things in order to be able to make your way to enlightenment. You would need to have confidence in the Buddha, access to his teachings, and you need to be part of a community. If you just had one of these things or 2 of these things, you wouldn't actually be able to get to enlightenment. And as I shared, you guys might not have confidence in the Buddha right now. That's okay, right? That's your doubt. But over time, you can eliminate that through investigation of the teachings. But if you just had confidence in the Buddha and you didn't have access to his teachings and you weren't part of a community, you wouldn't be able to get to enlightenment. Or if you just had access to his teachings and you didn't have confidence in him and you weren't part of a community, you wouldn't be able to get to enlightenment. Or if you just were part of a community and you didn't have confidence in the Buddha, you didn't have access to his teachings, you wouldn't be able to get to enlightenment. So you're going to need all 3 of these. And that's why each event in the Theravada tradition will typically start with this particular chant. And if you chant, like I mentioned, it's a unifying language that you can chant anywhere and anywhere. So you can go just about anywhere in the world that has a Theravada temple, and they're going to be chanting using these same exact chants. Their dialect or their pronunciation might be slightly different because of impermanence, but they're going to be chanting these same chants. So I'm going to teach these to you, and I'm going to do each chant 4 times. I'm going to do it the first time by myself, just so you can hear how it sounds. I'm going to do it a second time by myself, where I'm going to show you where I'm breathing so that you'll know where a good place to breathe would be. Then we'll do it a 3rd time, and you guys can join in on that one, and I'll guide you in where to breathe. And then I'll do it a 4th time where there'll be no guidance or anything, and we're just all chanting together. Okay, so here's how this one goes. The very first one, it sounds like this. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Bhutang Bhagavanang Apivateyami Savakato Bhagavata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Okay, so that's the way that one sounds. And if you notice, I do like a little bow at the end of each phrase there. If you're in a big group of people, they're typically doing this towards the front of the room, and there's usually a big statue of the Buddha up there. So you'll notice that they'll actually bow to the ground. This is helping to eliminate the conceit from the mind where the ego can be eliminated. For me, I'm just sitting in a chair, so I'm raising my hands up just to show respect to the Buddha, show respect to the teachings, and show respect to the community. That's what that is. Whether you choose to do that or not, totally up to you, right? This is just my practice. This is what I choose to do, but it's your practice. Nobody's here to convince you to do anything. You can choose to do whatever you like. So there's a little bow that you'll see some people do at the end of each one of those phrases. Okay, so here's the second time through where there's actually, I'll show you where the breaths are. Okay, so I take a nice deep breath at the beginning. Then I say, Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava. I'm taking a breath here. Bhutang Bhagavanang Apivateyami. And then as I'm bowing, I'm taking a nice deep breath. Okay. Savakato Bhagavata Tammo. Little breath here. Dhammang Namasami. Again, as I'm bowing, I'm taking a nice deep breath. Supatipano Bhagavato. Little breath here. Savaka Sangho. Little breath here. Sanghang Namami. And then I'm going to bow, and I'm taking a deep breath to go into the next chant from there. Okay, so now let's do it together. This will be our third time through, and I'll guide you guys on where the breath is. And if you'd like to take a breath here, you can. If you don't have to, it's up to you. Again, it's your practice, but there's a natural pause in the chanting, which makes it really nice for you to be able to take a breath if that's what you would like to do. Okay, so here, you can do this however you like. Some people, when they have these chanting sheets, they like to hold them like this. It's up to you. Some people put it in their lap. Some people put it on the floor. It's really up to you. There's many different ways to do that. Okay. So here, you like to take a nice deep breath and now start chanting. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Bhutang Bhagavanang Apivateyami. I forgot to tell you guys to take a breath. All right, so let's do it again. All right, so take a nice deep breath. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava. Breath. Bhutang Bhagavanang Apivateyami. Breath. Savakato Bhagavata Tammo. Breath. Dhammang Namasami. Breath. Supatipano Bhagavato. Breath. Sāvaka Sangho. Breath. Sanghang Namami. Okay, then when we're bowing, we're taking that breath to go into the next one. Okay, so now let's do it a fourth time where I'm not guiding you guys. We'll just do the chant together. Okay, so here we go. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Bhutang Bhagavanang Apivateyami Savakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Okay, I'll give you guys a round of applause. Yay! Okay, you're starting to get it. All right. Any questions on this one? No questions? Okay, so now we'll go to the second one. Some people find the second one to be a lot easier because if you're like a Thai child and you're like growing up in Thailand and you start mouthing a few words and saying a few sounds, they're going to actually teach you this chant. I've seen little kids like a year and a half, 2 years old that can chant this chant. So if you're finding it challenging to learn all three at the same time, you might learn this one first because a lot of the syllables here show up in some of the other chants. So it'll kind of help you to learn the other ones. So again, I'm going to do it 4 times so you guys can see how this works. So here's how it sounds. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, so it's just the same phrase 3 times. And there's no bowing here on this one. Okay, so what I do is I take a nice deep breath at the beginning, and then I chant. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. Breath. Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. There's a nice deep breath here. Namo Tassa Bhagavato there's a breath there. Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Nice deep breath. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. Breath. Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, so it's really simple, really straightforward. Okay, so now we'll do it a 3rd time, and you guys can join in this time, okay? This is where you kind of envision that you're auditioning for a singing show, right? Like maybe you have Chinese Idol, or I'm not sure where you're from. Where are you from? Australia, like Australian Idol, or The Voice. The Voice is really popular, right? Like maybe it's The Voice, right? So kind of imagine that you're auditioning, just no shyness, just let it out, okay? So if I can start hearing you guys, that's really good because I'll start hearing you guys. If you guys can overpower my sound with the microphone and stuff, then I'll know you guys are chanting really well, okay? So here we go, the 2nd time, or the 3rd time. You guys ready? All right. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Breath. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. Breath. Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Breath. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. Breath. Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Okay, so that first one I forgot to give you the breath. Okay, so you guys see where the breaths are? Okay, so now we'll do it a fourth time where I won't have to guide you on the breaths. Okay, so here we go. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Okay, so this is the second one. I call it the Namo Tassa, but I'm sure there's another way to refer to it. So this is the second one that you'll typically see when you're at a large event with Theravada Buddhism. So any questions here on this one? No questions? Okay. All right, so now we'll go to the third one. I found this one to be more challenging, but some people say it's easier for them, right? Because different people are going to have different experiences. Not everyone's going to have the same experience with something. So again, I'm going to do it 4 times for you. So here's how this one sounds. Iti piso emakawa arahang sama sammuto. Vicacaranang sammuno sakatoro kawito anutero purisa Dhamma sati satatawa manusarang Poto Bhagavati. So you guys might be hearing the natural pause in these chants by now. You might actually be figuring out where the breaths are yourself. But let me show you guys where those are. I'll do it a second time. Okay, so there's a nice deep breath here. Iti piso emakawa. Breath. Arahang sama sammuto. Big breath here. Vicacaranang sammuno. Breath. Sakatoro kawito. Nice deep breath. Anutero purisa. Breath. Dhamma sati satatawa manusarang. Breath. Poto Bhagavati. Okay, so that's where the breaths are. So now we can do it a third time where you guys can join in if you like, and I'll guide you on the breath. Okay, so here we go. Iti piso emakawa. Breath. Arahang sama sammuto. Breath. Vicacaranang sammuno. Breath. Sakatoro kawito. Breath. Anutero purisa. Breath. Dhamma sati satatawa manusarang. Breath. Puto bhagavati. Okay, there at the end, I kind of drag it out a bit. Whereas if you're chanting with Thai people, they might end it abruptly. They might say, bhagavati. They just stop it. I think it sounds more beautiful if you drag it out. So that's why I drag it out at the end. Okay, so now we can do it a fourth time where there's no guidance. You guys will just be able to practice it. Okay, so here we go. Iti piso emahakawa arahang samma sammuto vichacharanang sammuno sakhato rokavitu Anutero purisa Dhamma sati satatawa manusarang Puto bhagavati. Okay, so this is the ETP so. Again, I'm sure there's another way to refer to this, but I just use the ETP so. But this is the third chant. This is the 3 that I'm going to teach you guys. Any questions on this one? No questions? Okay. So here's what I propose that we do. I propose that we go to the first one and we go through all 3. No guidance, no stopping, no nothing. Just go all the way through. You guys game? You up for it? Okay. Anybody need a glass of water? Drink of water? No? No glass of water? Okay, I probably should have got myself a glass of water before we started. All right, you guys ready? Okay, here we go. The voice. Arahang samma sammuto emahakawa Putang mahakawanang apiwateyami Sawakato emakawata tammo Dhammang namasami Supatipano emakavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghang namami Namo rasa bhagavato Arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo rasa bhagavato Arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo rasa bhagavato Arahato samma sambuddhassa Iti piso emahakawa Arahang samma sammuto Vichacharanang sammuno Sakhato rokavitu Anutero purisa Dhamma sati satatawa Manu Sarang Poto Bhagavati. Okay, congratulations. Yay. Okay. Any questions on any of these? Anything you guys would like to ask? Feeling a little bit more comfortable? Yeah. Well, we're going to do this each morning and each afternoon as part of our meditation. So you'll get a chance to practice it on the way in and on the way out. So when you guys come in the morning, if you guys would like to get one of these chanting sheets, you can just grab one of the chanting sheets because we're going to just be chanting these. So you guys will have them for you when you're actually doing the meditation, because I won't be displaying it on the screen like this. Okay. All right. So here's what I propose. If you guys are game, if you guys are up for it, is what if we did the chanting and then we did a meditation and then we came out with the chanting, kind of putting it all together. You guys interested in doing some meditation? Yeah? You like to do some? Okay. So I'll switch these up here so you guys will have it. But you also have the chanting sheets in front of you too. You can use those as well. So I'm going to do the chanting and then we'll go into the meditation and I'll provide you the guidance while we're in the meditation. But then there's going to be that period of quietness where it's just quiet. And then we're going to come out of the meditation with some more chanting. Okay? So anybody need a bathroom break? Yeah? You need a bathroom break? Yeah, why don't we take a little 5-minute bathroom break? I'm going to get a little bit of water. For those of you guys online, we're just going to take a little short break here just to use the bathroom, get some water, and then we're going to do some meditation. Did you guys eat any food for lunch? Yeah, where'd you go? 7-Eleven? Oh. There's a restaurant outside. If you go outside and you turn to the right, it's called Ming Kwan. Yeah, it's only like 50 baht, 60 baht. Thai food. It's all vegetarian or vegan, but it's really inexpensive. Only like 50 baht, 60 baht. Really fresh food. And it's already prepared. All you need to do is just ask for it and you eat it right away. You can probably eat in like 15-20 minutes because it's already prepared. Yeah, they have really good khao soi. That's really popular there. If you like khao soi, do you know what that is? Yeah, yeah. Maybe you'll like it there better. They make it really nice. And then they have other dishes too. They have soups, different soups. They have different rice dishes and stuff like that. There's a fair number of Chinese people that like to go there because I go there a lot, so I see a lot of Chinese people come. Yeah. Eat the noodles. I think Chinese people like noodles, right? Yeah. There's a bunch of food everywhere in Thailand, right? It's not hard to eat here. When I used to teach in America, I had to tell people where the restaurants are because people didn't know. So here it's like, yeah, just go have food. It's everywhere. Okay. So you guys are going to get a chance to put this chanting together with the meditation. And then you guys will get a chance to do that each day as we come in the morning and in the afternoons as well. Okay. All right. So here we go. Arahang สัมมาสัมพุทโธมะเขวาพุทธังมะเขวันหังอภิวาเทมิสวากขาโตมะเขวัตตาธัมโมธัมมังนามัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนมะเขวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสมะเขวาอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชาจารณังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรปุริสาธัมมาสติสัตตาตาวามนุสนังพุทโธภะคะวะติ Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, and the upper body erect. Just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here you're just looking to establish the breath. A nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose, experiencing the full breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind fixated on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธมะขวาพุทธังมะขวันหังอภิวาเทมิสวากขาโตมะขวัตตาธัมโมธัมมังนามัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชาจารณังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรปุริสาดัมมาสติสัตตาตาวามนุสรังพุทโธภควาติ Okay. Any questions? Anything you guys would like to ask? No questions? Okay. Well, I'm just going to end today by thanking you guys. Thank you for being interested to learn the teachings of the Buddha. Thank you for deciding today's a day that you'd like to study some of his teachings. Because as you become a better and better person, it's helping you, it's helping all those around you, and it's helping all of humanity, right? Because if you continue to be harmful and bitter and harsh to people, then it's just going to cause harm to you and to those people around you. But by you improving and becoming a better and better human being, it's helping you, it's helping those people around you, and it's helping all of humanity. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to start with meditation, where we'll do chanting and meditation. Then I'm going to teach you the Four Noble Truths. That's where you learn the problem, the cause of the problem, the elimination of it, and the path forward. You can have a real breakthrough to be able to independently verify why you experience things like anger, sadness, frustration, and others. Then I'm going to teach you the entire Eightfold Path. That's what's actually going to transform your mind and move it closer and closer to this enlightened mental state. Then after our lunch break, we're going to come back and I'm going to teach you meditation. We're going to spend the entire morning learning the Eightfold Path. We'll take a mid-morning break in the middle, but it takes me about 2.5 hours to actually teach it because it's very detailed. It's very thorough. And then in the afternoon, after our lunch break, I'll teach you meditation, because by that point, you'll have an opportunity to do meditation 3 times with me. That's a good time to actually teach it to you at that point. So whatever you choose to do today, have a very wonderful and lovely rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Sawadee krap. Sawadee krap. You're welcome.